name is John Andrew Williams. This is a Coaching to Flourish Q&A session with just me, and both Raj and Ashley are out, but I'll do my best to hold it down and make them proud and offer some advice, tidbits, information, things that are going on there, and mostly based on the research that we've been doing, this past research that I've been getting into, and it has to deal a lot with growth mindset and fixed mindset, specifically a study that was done in 1998 by Mueller and Dweck, where they did a series of 6 studies with a group of students, asking them different areas of how they were being praised for their intelligence or praised for their work, and the results that happened from that, and how I've been applying it in my own life and my coaching. That's the topic of the day, and I want to get into a couple questions about it. So the first question is, does growth mindset really matter? Does it make a difference? What is growth mindset? So central to one of the things that I, as an educator, and what we try to do here in our training classes is really emphasize a growth mindset approach. And it's a buzzword. It's been a buzzword in education, and it's gone through different iterations. Recently, growth mindset is on the upward trend. It's something that administrators, teachers want to implement. What it means is looking at students and their progress more from a way of effort, in that their intelligence, their success has more to deal with the effort that they put into their work, rather than an innate or fixed talent level. The challenge from an educator standpoint, is that so many students view their grades, view their performance as an indicator, a measurement of their intelligence. In tests like the IQ test, even standardized tests, all of these things only serve to reinforce this myth about human intelligence, human creativity, human capacity. And the myth is this. The myth is that our talent level, our intelligence level, is fixed at birth, that we're given a certain set genetic lottery. Either we win it or we don't, and there's not much that we can do about that. That's a myth. Human beings, we are highly adaptable. Our intelligence is not an entity-based thing that is fixed, but rather an incremental intelligence, where we can do exercises, we can increase it. If you practice it, it will increase. Yes, there are certain proclivities. There are certain things that people feel like they have certain strengths, and strengths-based work is also important. And those two go hand in hand. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive. They don't cancel each other out. They work in concert with one another. So oftentimes when looking at topics like this, I like to think, what is the usefulness and what is the uselessness of growth mindset? What is the usefulness of fixed mindset? And what is the uselessness of fixed mindset? So, and how does this come up in coach training? Let's dive in. So I'm going to first start with fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is the belief that your intelligence is fixed, and when you do work, when you try to accomplish something, it's a judgment. If you are successful with it, it means that you're smart. It means that each thing that you do becomes a test of your innate intelligence. That puts so much pressure on students. Put so much pressure on people, and when they get into the executive working worlds, or when they're out in doing other things in their life, they realize, wow, like I put so much pressure on myself, me included. I was in this too. I was highly conditioned as a kid to do things to reinforce intelligence. Right? In the study that Mueller and Dweck did, they had a number of students that were 5th graders, and they asked them to do a series of problems. And no matter what problems they did, they told the students, you did great. You got over 80% of them correct, and they were very hard. And there were 2 different reasons for their success. Group 1, the reason they gave them was because they were smart. They were innate smart. And they said, it's because of your innate intelligence that you accomplished this stuff. Congratulations. Here's another set of problems. Right? These ones are more challenging. The other group, group 2, they said, congratulations, you did great on these problems. And it's because you worked hard. You put in effort. That was group 2. And then they had a control group that I don't think they gave them any reason. The second set of problems was way harder. And there was a wider range between easy problems and harder problems. The group that was praised for intelligence, they showed a 20 to 30% more inclined to do the easy problems, to give up more quickly, to shy away from the harder problems, to do the things that proved their intelligence. And doing hard things, failing, struggling, showing fragility, all of these things is a sign that there's a narrative, or that narrative of intelligence, innate intelligence, has been reinforced. So group 1, they gave up more quickly, they tried the easy problems, and it makes about a 20 to 30% difference. We're not talking complete behavior change, but if you think about it, what if you could be 20 or 30% more productive in a day? That tends to add up. That would be like having one extra day every work week. That would be amazing. And let's go to group 2. What they found, the group that was praised with their work, not necessarily for their intelligence, that group was more likely to stick with the harder problems. That group was more likely to do the things that were more challenging and stay longer at them. And here's the thing, after this test, they went back to the first group of problems, and they did those as, they went back to the easier problems to see how the students would do. And then they asked them, after the whole thing was finished, was it fun? How much fun did you have? Group 1, where they were praised for their intelligence, they said it was less fun. That whole exercise, even though they were praised for their intelligence, that whole exercise was not fun. Group 2 was praised for hard work. They said it was actually more fun than the control group. So praising intelligence, really tying your worth, your innate intelligence to your performance, it's not fun. It leads to about 20 to 30% less motivation in doing hard, challenging things, and it makes us shy away from failure. Does this sound familiar? Right? And you think about this. This is done in 1998. This is when this research is coming out, and it's taking this long to really percolate itself through the education system and into society in general. The flip side of that, group 2, when they were asked, is it fun? Yes, it's fun. And sticking in and really thinking, okay, so I have, like, in me, right, for where I'm at, and really praising effort. Is it worth it? It makes it more fun. You're more likely to engage in challenging things. You're increased able to take failure and look at it and go, okay, that happened. What did I learn from it? And then you're more likely to keep going, because doesn't have to do with your innate intelligence, anything innate about you. It has to deal with a direct correlation with the energy and effort that you put in. So here's where I go as a coach, and in my own life and all of this, and it's challenging, and I have my own challenges too with this, and trying to stick with it. And the idea is when you look at the question, when you're framing questions and problems from a coaching standpoint, or even from a business standpoint, the question isn't am I good enough or not. When people are considering getting into the coaching field, every now and then I'll bop in on an enrollment call, and I love talking to people who are interested in coaching, and that initial excitement. It takes me back to when I was first found the field, and that initial excitement I felt. And so when I'm talking to people like this, and oftentimes they'll say, well, do you think I have it? Is this possible? What's it like to start a practice? I think people are asking themselves, am I enough? Do I have an innate natural intelligence? Do I have something that either people have it or don't have it? It's very fixed mindset oriented, and I was there too. And then a lot of times when people are in coaching sessions or as beginning coaches, they want to try to solve something really quickly for clients or prove to clients how useful the sessions are or how much value they're getting from the session right away. In a way, it's a performance goal because you're trying to prove that your choice was correct. You're trying to prove that the profession that you chose is something that's worthy of your energy and attention. That's hard. That's a tough place to be in. And I was there for a while as a coach. And when I'm listening to new coaches, sometimes they're in that space too. And it brings me right back to where I was in that journey. And I think at some point in time, when you just get a lot of experience as a coach, you relax that. You know that you don't need to keep proving the value of coaching or the field of coaching. You know that you're providing value. And when that happens, sorry, my phone's going. There's a lot of, it might happen again. We'll see. It's been a busy morning. It's been a really busy one. All right. So, getting back to, what was it? Growth mindset, fixed mindset. All right. I'll go back to growth mindset. And so some of the practices with growth mindset that I found help, where you have to get away from this fixed mindset, is creating learning goals and reminding myself, that it's not about, it's not like this success is not a testament to some innate genius or intelligence. It's not. It's more around effort and learning and resilience. And so the question really becomes, what systems can I create to consistently put in effort? That's the question. I will get bummed out. I will get sad when things don't work out. When I want to put in where I have an idea, and let's say we switch something up, or we make a move from one thing to the next and it doesn't work out. That happens. And sometimes I wonder, okay, did I make the wrong choice? What did I learn from this? It's a setback. Can we absorb this setback? How can we absorb this setback? How long is it going to take for us to get to certain places, get back to where we were? These are challenging things. This is not light work. And this is the work where I see people, especially new coaches, people who are in business trying to get this thing established. This internal work is fully half of the challenge. It's that inner work. It's that, can I consistently stay on point and motivated and courageous to look at the challenges and not take on the narrative that somehow it's about your innate talent or lack of talent, that these challenges are things that you can address. And that really it's around how well you're able to consistently put in effort and then find people and ask for help. That's what I've learned over the past 12 years and of doing this full time. Well, it's just been 14. I keep saying 12 because I feel like I'm stuck in 2020 for some reason. No, it was 2009, 2008 when we first took the leap. So we're looking at 15 years now. And 15 years of entrepreneurship has transformed the way I mean, it's hard for me to look at what's different in myself. It's been a journey. And there's a certain point when you learn to rely on determination. And so I think, okay, so I sometimes think of my own self when I'm looking at growth mindset, fixed mindset. I go through this cycle of, I call it 3D. And the first one is doom and gloom. It's when things are really hard and I get feedback or things that aren't working the way I want it to work. And it can get kind of doomy and gloomy, where it feels like there's a lot of self-talk around, are the fundamentals incorrect? Do I have what it takes? What mistakes, what challenges are still there, need to be picked up? That's the doom and gloom space. I have found for myself it's helpful if I don't try to make it go away too soon. I just be here, let it simmer. I don't need to poke it too much, just let it be. And then, but to trust the internal process. And when I find I can consciously shift into more of a growth mindset, more of the structures that coaching can help put in place, I find that it tends to shift to determined. There's a feeling of determination, of accepting the setback, getting the learning from the setback, and finding another source of motivation, another resource to move forward. And so that journey between doom and determination is a fascinating one. And working with a lot of clients, each of us, we get to build our own little bridge between those two places. For me, having the structure, understanding the fundamentals of growth versus fixed mindset. When I find myself more in fixed mindset mode, the doom can feel bigger because there's not much you can do about it. You don't have control over your innate talent. It goes into a place of, and then not having a lot of control. It's very easy to feel and bring in those feelings of being helpless, and getting the ideas of learned helplessness and all what that entails is in that place. Shifting to that growth and shifting to this idea that, okay, I can control how much effort I put in. And if I don't feel like putting effort in right now, that's okay. It's okay. Just breathe. And, work your systems, reach out, ask for help, get a coaching session, do your morning routines, get exercise, do all the things that we know help. And really finding that bridge to determination, we get to do it ourselves. You have your own bridge. Growth mindset helps because it makes you feel like you're in control. At least you're in control of that effort. At least you're in control of that motivation. And when you start to be able to find that consistently, find that lever, that handle that you can grab on again to make your day productive, that just increases, that determination becomes stronger. And then I know it's working. When I go from doom to determination to doing. That's the last D, is the doing part. And when determination is lovely, but if it doesn't lead to action steps, it's not really getting you there. And it's hard to go straight from doom to doing. I don't recommend that. It's nice to have a little pit stop in between, find that determination, and then go there too. But whatever you need in that space, and the clients I've worked with, when I see it in them, there usually is this narrative that plays out. We each have a story about ourselves, like what we're capable of doing, what our day is like, what challenges we're facing, what's the nature of the challenges. Our minds are built to craft these narratives, and we have to. It makes sense, helps us make sense of the world. And so when I find myself getting used to this, okay, doom, determination, doing cycle, if I can work through this loop, I start to have a narrative around myself that I can work through this cycle, not quickly, but I can work through it more fluidly. There were times when I first started my coaching practice where, I made the leap from being a high school teacher to being a coach, where we were financially month to month for a while, 2 or 3 years. And it got to a point when I stopped asking if and if we're going to be financially okay, because it just got exhausting after a while. Like it just, the emotion of worrying about it, just, it got exhausting. The emotion, frankly, it got boring. Like it just became like, we've been here, we know this, and the only way forward is for me to keep on getting clients and getting these things working. And we had little ones, and there was pressure, and we just kept one foot in front of the other. And there was evidence that it was working. I knew the fundamentals were correct. And I really trusted in the effort. I trusted the process. I trusted the coaching profession. And in that trust, the question quickly became, how can I make providing value sustainable and financially sustainable? In terms, even giving like free coaching sessions or trial sessions, giving workshops, working with the clients I was working with and asking them for referrals. And then when I was getting money from my coaching clients, and we were financially sustainable, but just barely. And then when that started to really tip, around 2010, it tipped hard and fast, and it wasn't linear, it was exponential. And I feel like that's a lot of what this work as an entrepreneur, when you're out there on your own, when you're doing this work, the work itself can feel linear, but the results are exponential. They might flatline. They might be really flat for a while until it all comes together and it all tips and it all just takes off. You have to trust that. Even now, when I'm running this organization with people, I keep reminding myself, no, the work is linear, but the results are exponential. And that's, I don't know, I wasn't built that way. I wasn't raised in an entrepreneur mindseted, in an entrepreneur setting, very much in a, one of my first jobs was working on a farm in southwestern Pennsylvania, picking corn and zucchini and moving around irrigation and tomatoes, all that stuff. It was very much get your hands in the soil and just work your butt off and you'll be okay. It's always been a journey, always that, we're putting in that work, and you have to trust that the results are going to come if you continue to put in the work. Understanding the study of fixed growth mindset has been really big for that journey for me. It makes the results you're getting when you're putting in lots of work and the results are still poor. It doesn't make the results a reflection of your intelligence or your worth. And my goodness, that message has been reinforced by a traditional education system so many times. And I've seen it in my own life, in my clients' lives, most likely in your life. When you can see that message, how it plays out, how it impacts all these areas in your life, you can see it clearly in working in real time when you're in that doom and gloomy space. And you can find that message and then isolate a bridge, a way to determination. That's gold. That's priceless. That's that inner work. And that's that work that only you can do for yourself. You can understand the concepts, you can work with a coach, but that's a bridge that you build and walk over internally, alone. You can do it with someone, first couple times. With a coach, you can journey with you to some degree, but at some point in time, you got to take those steps solo. And it's good to have support, good to have friends, good to have these kind of reminders, this kind of message. I hope it's helpful. For me, it's such a pleasure to process and reflect and look back on this 15-year journey. It has not always been easy. In fact, probably more than half the time it's been really, really hard. And what are you going to do? You just got to keep moving forward and stay in that learning zone. And this topic's a good reminder for myself. And getting back into the research, I realized how robust it is. It makes about 20 to 30% difference. And over time, that difference really starts to add up. Thank you so much for watching. It's another episode, Q&A, a little different style for the Coaching to Flourish. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of this coach training community. See you next week.